Brussels arose on the River Seine around 979 when Charles of Lower Lotharingia authorized a castrum on a marshy island. The name from Old Flemish Bruxella means house in the marsh. From a market town around the future Grand Place, it passed through Burgundian, Habsburg, and Spanish dominions. In 1830, the Revolution made it the capital of Belgium. Industrialization, boulevards built over the covered Seine, and 20th-century world's fairs shaped a European metropolis with medieval roots. The memory of water lingers in place names and the canal. To locals, it's Brux or Bruxelles. To the world, it is the capital of Europe for the EU institutions. It is also the city of comics and the cradle of Art Nouveau of Horta. For gourmands, a kingdom of chocolate, beers, and fries. For urbanists, a fan-shaped metropolis. Labels that coexist and signal a plural borderland identity. The city's spirit blends self-irony, understatement, and conviviality. The costumed mannequin piss, slow parades in the rain, and cozy cafes reflect a tolerant pragmatism among French and Dutch speakers and new arrivals. Volunteering, festivals, and solidarity markets underpin citizenship. Street music and murals animate the streets. The cultural scene is rich. The Royal Museums, Beaux-Arts, Canal Center Pompidou, the Horta and Magritte houses, bilingual theaters and independent venues, comics in public space, music from electronics to Baroque. The city critically reworks its colonial memory. Entire districts turn into festivals, stitching bridges between communities and schools. Geographically, the Brussels capital region is an enclave within Flanders. The Seine now runs largely underground but re-emerges in renaturalization projects. To the north lie rail and logistics areas. To the south, the hills toward the Saunian forest. Parks, the Ixelles ponds, and the Brussels-Charleroi Canal form ecological corridors that, together with an oceanic climate and clay soils, support biodiversity, drainage, and microclimates. Governance combines the region and 19 municipalities. The former coordinates mobility, planning, environment, and the economy. The latter provide local services. Official bilingualism governs signage, records, and schools, while English is an operational language. Metropolitan cooperation with Flemish and Walloon-Brabant addresses jobs, housing, and transport with circular approaches to energy, waste, and water. The central location brings Leuven, Mechelen, Antwerp, Ghent, and Liège close by, and bridges toward Charleroi and Namur. The north-south rail axis links Midi-Zuid, Central, and North stations. The main airport is at Zaventem, with a secondary one at Charleroi. Highways E40, E19, and E411 converge here. Proximity to the North Sea tempers the climate. Southern Hills and the Parliament Hill shape views and fans of neighborhoods, fostering diplomatic missions, congresses, and sustainable daily travel. Districts form a mosaic, the Grand Place and Îlot Sacré with historic shops, the Marolles with antiques and flea markets, Sablon of chocolate and galleries, the European Quarter of offices and delegations, Ixelles with its ponds and Art Nouveau, Bohemian Saint-Gilles, leafy Uccle, elegant multicultural Schaerbeek, regenerating Molenbeek, Anderlecht with markets and manufacturing, Forest, Etterbeek, Oudergem, and Woluwe complete the picture. The urban landscape mixes Art Nouveau and Art Deco facades with international glass and steel buildings. The Grand Place, a UNESCO site, remains a civic stage. The Atomium from Expo 58 is a pop icon. Green networks, 30-km/h zones and rain gardens mitigate heat and flooding. Squares, markets, and stations become accessible social hubs. Daily life alternates crowded trams, bakeries, and quick lunches with afternoons in parks. European offices and co-working site alongside craft workshops. Evenings span art house cinema, concerts, and beer halls. Sundays between flea markets and bike rides into the Saunian forest. The economy is driven by advanced services and EU institutions, with diplomacy, NGOs, consulting, media, and creative industries. Tech startups, biomedicine, and clean tech connect with universities and hospitals. Congress tourism is crucial. Transport integrates STIB, MIVB metro, trams, and buses with contactless ticketing. The North-South rail axis offers metropolitan services. Zaventem links Europe's capitals. The population, among the most international in Europe, uses French and Dutch, with English as a lingua franca. Families, students, officials, artists, and artisans share schools and public spaces. Healthcare features UZ Brussels, Saint-Luc, Erasmus, Saint-Pierre, and Delta Chirac, with prevention and telemedicine. Urban and nearby spas, Therme Bootfort, Grimbergen, Weyer Waters, round out the offer. Universities ULB and VUB with St. Louis and KU Leuven campuses lead research, internationalization, and incubators. There are no urban ski lifts. For snow, you head to the Ardennes. The table celebrates Stoemp, Carbonade, Waterzui, shrimp croquettes, and moule frite, gaufres, and spontaneously fermented beers. Belgian wines are on the rise. Wildlife includes deer, foxes, and badgers in the Sognian forest, herons and kingfishers along canals, peregrine falcons on towers, colonies of ring-necked parakeets. Coexistence is supported by green corridors and participatory projects.